Welcome, everyone. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we are breaking down the complete anatomy of a multi-million-dollar South Florida luxury estate. We're going to look way past the glitz and glamour to uncover the exact cutting-edge engineering, the highly specific geography, and the unbelievable design choices that actually justify these astronomical price tags. By the end of this explainer, you'll know precisely what makes a true Florida mega mansion tick.
Here is our blueprint for today's explainer. We'll be covering 5 key components. Number 1, elite locations and access. Number 2, fortress-like weather resilience. 3, next-level privacy and security. 4, seamless indoor-outdoor living. And 5, over-the-top interior amenities.
Let's move to our first section and see how this all builds from the ground up. Section 1, elite locations and access, or as we like to call it, the proximity sweet spot. 90. That is a huge number in this world. It represents 90 feet of prime water frontage at a stunning, modern masterpiece over in Lighthouse Point. See, in the ultra-luxury market, scale is literally everything, particularly when we're talking about nautical scale. This property sits on one of the absolute widest canals in the city, situated right near a massive, deep turning basin. Basically, this means an owner can comfortably dock an 80 to 90-foot superyacht right in their backyard and physically spin it around with zero issues. It's exactly this kind of hyper-specific maritime access that instantly, and I mean instantly, skyrockets a property's worth. You see, the ultra-wealthy want to be completely tucked away from the daily chaos and traffic of a major hub like Miami, right? But they absolutely refuse to sacrifice global connectivity. So a prime megamansion in a place like Lighthouse Point puts you just 5 minutes from the Pompano Executive Airport for your private jets. And hey, if you need commercial flights or to dock at a commercial superyacht cruise terminal, you are only 20 to 30 minutes away from Fort Lauderdale International Airport, Palm Beach International, or deepwater hubs like Port Everglades. It is, without a doubt, the ultimate proximity sweet spot. Moving right along to Section 2, fortress-like weather resilience, built for South Florida. So, while geographical location is a massive selling point, being right on the Florida coast obviously comes with intense environmental risks, and that brings us to our next structural layer. While the aesthetics of these homes are undeniably beautiful, the real engineering genius and a huge portion of the budget goes into protecting the investment from extreme Florida weather. Just look at the sheer defensive infrastructure here. In typical homes, you might see wood framing on the second floor, but in these latest mega mansions, like the ones we're looking at in Lighthouse Point and Pinecrest, we are talking about solid poured concrete frames for both the first and second floors, plus poured concrete patios. When you factor in the threat of hurricanes, that is absolutely crucial. Take the Pinecrest compound, for example. They have a massive 75-kilowatt commercial generator paired with an 1,100-gallon underground natural gas tank. That system is specifically designed to run an entire 15,000-square-foot mansion for 2 solid weeks if the power grid goes down. Add in all-copper drainage built for maximum historical rainfall and massive 12-foot high-impact glass doors, and you've effectively built a beautiful, luxurious fortress.
All right, Section 3, next-level privacy and security. Gated communities without the gates.
So we've got the prime location, and we've got the fortress-like structure. Now we have to look at how the ultra-wealthy actually secure these massive investments. The way they approach privacy has really evolved lately, and it relies heavily on some absolutely fascinating municipal infrastructure. I love this quote from a real estate expert who said, "I always joke it's like the Vatican City, a self-enclosed city." Lighthouse Point was actually carved out of Pompano, specifically to be this hyper-exclusive enclave. Get this, there are only about 5,000 residents in the whole city. They don't even rely on standard county services. They have their own in-house police department, their own fire department, ambulances, and parks. The whole shebang. Which naturally leads us to this fascinating concept of invisible security. Essentially, Lighthouse Point operates as a gated community, but without any physical gates to slow you down. How? Through a localized, community-wide digital dragnet. Every single car that drives in or out has its license plate automatically scanned and instantly run through the local police system. And because this dedicated in-house police force has such a small footprint to cover, if a stolen car or an unauthorized flag pops up in the system, the response time is roughly 5 minutes. It's completely frictionless security. It allows residents to live freely while remaining heavily protected. Let's shift gears a bit. Section 4, seamless indoor-outdoor living, the Florida lifestyle.
Now that the property is perfectly located, built like a bunker, and incredibly secure, we have to talk about lifestyle design. In South Florida, the outdoor spaces are just as critical, and sometimes, honestly, even larger than the indoor spaces. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. We are comparing a standard backyard patio to a true Florida summer kitchen. We aren't just talking about a charcoal grill on a wooden deck here. In these Fort Lauderdale and Pinecrest properties, the outdoor kitchens are completely built under poured concrete pergolas. They feature marine-grade blaze stainless steel appliances, built-in ice makers, wine fridges, and natural gas grills. The pools? They have infinity edges, swim-up steps just for lounging, natural gas heaters, and commercial-grade smart LED lighting that you control right from a touchpad. It is quite literally a full 5-star luxury resort experience completely contained in your own backyard. To really wrap your head around the scale of this, just consider the footprint of the massive 1.3-acre Pinecrest estate. You have 15,000 square feet of indoor living space, meeting nearly 19,000 square feet of covered outdoor luxury. That's bigger than most people's entire property lots. Thanks to those massive 12-foot-high impact pocket doors that slide entirely out of the way, the architecture intentionally blurs the line between the interior and the sprawling exterior. It creates one massive, continuous living environment.
And finally, Section 5, over-the-top interior amenities, the details of extreme luxury.
Let's step inside for our final section. The back-end logistics required to run a private home of this size are effectively identical to running a boutique hotel. I want you to take a look at the data here. A Tampa Heights home might be 5,500 square feet and sit right on the Riverwalk, or maybe you have a contemporary 3-story smart home in Fort Lauderdale that's 4,600 square feet. But that Pinecrest compound, it boasts 9 bedrooms, 10 full baths, and get this, requires 7 separate air conditioning units and 4 distinct septic tanks just to keep a 15,000 square foot house comfortable and functional. It's just wild.
Which perfectly explains this number, 16. That is the actual seating capacity of the entirely soundproofed home theater inside that Pinecrest estate. That's enough for a small movie premiere. And it doesn't just run on some standard receiver you buy at a big box store. The entire property's audio, visual, lighting, and 16-camera security network runs on a highly robust commercial restaurant system.
To wrap up the interior, let's talk about the finishes, because the tactile and visual luxury is where these homes truly become pieces of livable art. Imagine walking into a kitchen where you can fill your pots using a custom water dispenser mounted directly over a 6-burner Wolf gas stove. Now picture a gorgeous illuminated onyx stone backdrop glowing right behind that stove at night. We're talking 18-foot coffered ceilings absolutely dripping with Murano and Baccarat glass chandeliers. You have walk-in glass-encased wine cellars that actually feature independent air filtration systems so you can comfortably smoke a cigar while picking out a vintage. The walls feature actual live moss inlays. And if you step outside the master suite, you are greeted by your very own private lily pond. Every single inch is meticulously designed to be an incredible, immersive sensory experience. So when you bring it all together, the hyper-strategic location for your yachts and jets, the poured concrete weather resilience, the invisible digital security, and those absolutely jaw-dropping sensory amenities, you have the true anatomy of a Florida mega mansion. It's truly a masterclass in modern engineering and design. Which leaves me with one final question for you to think about today. If you were building your own custom Florida mega mansion from scratch, which of these extreme features would be your absolute must-have? Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and I hope you walk away with a totally new perspective on luxury real estate.